this picture is one of my favorite pictures, because you see here we play, I think, some 10 against 9 or something. It doesn't really matter. But the red circles, it's around coaches. So when we train, there's quite a lot of coaches present in the training ground, and that is obviously because, as we spoke about before, many eyes, less risk of getting biased. But it's also to make sure that when you are in the context, that you get individual feedback in the context, so that feedback is not something headliners for the team, but no, this guy here, he is actually looking at how the back four works. So in a break, he will collect the back four, talk with them.
Yeah.
This guy, he may be looking at this triangle over here. How do they position in terms of each other? How do they break through, stuff like this? So there's a lot of eyes on pitch to give individual or group feedback within the session. Because I think that's the way, or that's at least the way we work, because we think that this is actually the best individual training if you are enough coaches. That is to play the real game full speed, and then be able to talk with the players, maybe not so much during the play. Obviously you can coach, and I will come back to that in a little bit later, not because we don't coach when the ball is running, but we use a lot of summary feedback, which means that this sequence might last 2 or 3 minutes, and then they gather in small groups, they discuss, and the coach is there to ask questions or give inputs to try to improve whatever we are working on in the pitch. So we are a lot more in small groups or individual talks, even though it's a team session. And we use bandwidth feedback, which means that if you imagine that you have a band like this, so everything there's within the band, positive or negative, we don't really comment on it. But everything outside, positive or negative, that will trigger a comment.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we will just be coaches talking all the time. So we try to use that as a guideline for when to give feedback, and also the summary feedback, how to give feedback. And sometimes I think as a coach, you need to remember that sometimes with feedback, that less is more. And sometimes that the players, they have the answers, that the knowledge is with the player. So that we ask them questions, because studies show that elite coaches, they detect 38% of what is going on in an 11 against 11 game. So that's 38%, which means there's quite a lot that we miss.
Yeah.
Even though we are maybe more than one coach, there's quite a lot that we miss. So we need also, especially with players in this level, to ask them questions. What did you see? Did you see this guy? What do you think about this situation when you are here? Sometimes just, walk it through with them on the pitch, but also to be interesting to hear, what do you actually think when you are here? What do you see? What do you see of the possibilities? Because there's a quite big chance, based on research, that I've missed something.
Yeah.
So it needs to be a corroboration more than me having the truth. And for instance, with skills, finishing, for instance, we actually discussed this quite a lot in terms of feedback. So when you give feedback on execution, you make disturbances within the brain, which is quite, it will quite often make you drop in performance. So,
because you break the neural pathways. Because is that what it is?
Yeah. You make it from being a subconscious to be a conscious thing. So suddenly the players are thinking about it, and with players in elite level, you should ask yourself if it's important. If for instance, the non-kicking leg is, this much from the ball or this much from the ball, does it matter if the output is the right?
Yeah.
And Ricardo Quaresma he's maybe the best example of all. So everybody knows he's outside cross, but if the coach in the youth have told him, yeah, you have to cross with the other foot.
Yeah, with your left foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just it's what, obviously sometimes it's what you believe in, but